What's up, y'all? AJ Simmons back with another great interview for you guys. And today, I mean a great one. We got a CBN legend coming back up here for y'all, man. This guy right here, he came on initially back in 2018, told us how he hit over $200,000 mark in his first year of business. So then he came back again for a second interview, and I had to get him back on for a third one. So, and then by the way, this was all after serving time in prison. So if you ain't figured it out already, please help me welcome back Mr. William Wade. What's up, Mr. Wade?
Headed to the top, there ain't none of y'all stopping me. Used to say I never get a ring, Charles Barkley. Now I got a wife, got kids, own property. Bubble-eyed beans that look like that be watching me. Okay, I lied about the beans, but that was hard though. I'm still in that black act, but she starred though. Cause that's all it takes. Don't flash it for. I'm on my grind, not no more fashion show.
Hey man, how you doing, AJ? I appreciate you having me back on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. So just to refresh anybody's memory, and for those who are new to the channel, just go ahead and tell them about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your company.
Well, I'm from, name is William Wade. I'm with Ascent Cleaning Solutions. I'm the owner in Nashville, Tennessee. We do commercial cleaning, residential move-in and move-outs, and Airbnbs. Yes, as you said, I served a little time and changed my mind around. And now here I am, man. It's been great. The second phase two has been great for me. Taking the lessons from the old and revamping them and pushing them back out new. And it's been a blessing, man. It's been a real blessing, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So I know, like I said, when you first started, you got off the ground running. So you hit like 20 grand per month mark within your first 12 months. And then first off, just tell us how you got to that point. Like, what did it take to even hit that point so fast?
So, all right. So first of all, as you know, I started with a franchise. Those that may not know, I started with a franchise, and I got in, man, and it was always us. Even though when it was just me, it was always us. It was never I can get it. It was never me can do it. It was us. It was me, myself, and I. If that was it, it was still gonna be us because I was working. And in them days, I was working like two people. Like my son used to tell me, he said, Dad, you working like two people. I was like, I'm gonna get it in like two people. If it took 18, 19-hour days, I remember, man, it was time that I was sleeping 2 hours. I mean, resting 2 hours, going to knock a building out and resting 2 more hours. I like to get 4 hours of sleep in a whole 24 hours. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep for days, you know. Family was worrying that I was gonna burn myself out. Am I forgetting to eat? I forgot to eat plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? So it was a constant grind to get there, man. It wasn't an easy road. And especially when you have, you know, people in your pocket. We talk about that a little later, but man, but it was a we thing, man. It was always me and it was always me and my team. I remember one time I had a $25,000 job. They offered it to me. They was like, "Hey, William, you know how to do it?" I was like, "Yeah." I didn't know the people. I didn't know where I was gonna get the people from. All I knew was 25,000 hitting my pockets. I'm gonna figure it out, and I did it. And I figured it out, man. I figured it out, and that was within the first like 4 or 5 months of business. So I took off pretty fast.
That's what's up, man. You definitely did. And so that was 2018, you was doing those type of numbers. Now I understand you got the ups and downs and all of that. So here we are, 2021, August 2021. So do you mind sharing with us what the revenue is looking like today?
So, all right, so to get to the revenue today, I'm on track for the first 4 years of business, hitting $1 million. Now, how that went is last year through the pandemic was a blessing and a curse, as we all know. I hit 360 last year. I want to say 380 last year. But let's just say 360 just to keep it conservative. So we did 360 last year, and we on track this year to hit 280. Now, I lost $23,000 in revenue in 1 month for one account during the pandemic. I had a big account that I was working, and it was $23,000 a month. And after I lost that, man, my mind just went through a whole another breakdown. Like, cause I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do? I mean, you know, I've never had 23,000 a month, and now I'm losing it. And I'm like, well, wow, then I'm sitting here like, what I'm gonna do? It was a franchise account. And so at this time, I'm relying on the franchise. I've been battling with it. I've called you a couple of times back in the day saying, hey, man, I'm not posting too much because you went independent, and I'm still with the franchise. And I'm like, you like, man, Wade, keep on posting, man, keep posting. I'm like, man, no. But what happened was I lost that security. That franchise security, that 23, when it dropped, I had to go into my mind. It's like, what I'm gonna do next? Right. So I got held up a little bit because of the wanting to be loyal to my franchise. And so I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the residential, and I'm going to do into the Airbnb. Because I don't want to be in competition with the people that's feeding me. They're giving me, I'm loyal. So if you giving me something, I don't want to try to take, backdoor you. But what happened was one time, it started my change into independent. Was one time one of the contracts that my franchise had wanted to get away from the franchise, and they asked me. They said, hey, William, you're the one doing the work. Why are we messing with this particular franchise? Why can't we just go straight to you? So in that time, I'm like, no, man, I don't want to do that, because my integrity comes first. And I'm like, if I've known people that told me, man, you might as well go ahead and cut them out. Many of my team members said, man, why are you not doing it? But they had that old mental thinking. And that's how we always trying to sideswipe somebody or undercut somebody so we can come up. And my belief says that if I be integrous with my actions, then that's how I get blessed. So I went to my franchise, and I told them, my master franchise, I said, man, look, we got this company that's wanting to talk just to me. What can we do to try to keep this company? Now, he said, William, you are the only person that ever said that. So he started questioning me. Like, what am I saying to them? What am I doing? And my thing is, like, if I wanted to try to take him, I wouldn't have never said nothing. Right. Like, and he said, I'm the only person. And that's when I realized that when somebody tells you you're the only person, that's a blessing. Because there's so many other people that's doing other things. If you're the only person that's doing something, somebody say, man, I've never heard nobody say that but you. That's a blessing. I don't want to be like nobody else. I want to be different. So I told them that, and they started watching my page, and I have my own business. That's the thing we're supposed to do. We're supposed to have our own business, because you have to, even if you're in a franchise, they instruct you to go get an LLC and start your own business. So only thing about me is I was going to get my own clients doing residential, and I was making it look like I was a professional business because I wanted to build up my business credit. Right. My whole thing that I had the franchise and with this ascent was building a business credit. It is when they made it feel like I was trying to underhand him. Mm-hmm. And I understand this business. I understand it. I understand what he's saying. But for me to sit down and tell you, and you kind of assassinate the character or something, questioning, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. So that kind of put a if on the franchise thing. And then I lost to 23. And then I was like, man, and when you lose an account with a franchise, they put you on a 2-month wait period. Now, I get it. Now, I lost the account during COVID. It wasn't because I didn't do a good job. They was backing out. They was making up excuses to go in-house. They eventually went in-house. But you get put on 2 months, right? You get put on 2 months. And now what I'm gonna do with them 2 months? I lost 23,000, and I understand it from a business perspective. Hey, AJ, if you're not handling your business and you lose something, I'm not gonna give you nothing else because you're gonna mess up my business. Right. But from a personal business owner, entrepreneur standpoint, I got kids to feed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So me losing 23, that's gonna mess up my whole mentality. So now I'm sitting here, I done fallen in some of my mind altering things, sitting drinking and stuff. Like, man, what I'm gonna do, trying to figure things out, because I was at home now. Right. You know, I'm at home working from home. I have my business staff, and I lost it. So now I'm trying to figure it out. And I didn't have some of the systems in place that you get when you start an independent. Right. So you got the marketing over there from the franchise. So you got to go out there and go out and knock on the doors. But if you don't like hearing no, what you gonna do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I changed and I started hearing the no. I made a game out of it. I told myself, man, let me go see how many no's I can hear today. Because I didn't want to hear a no, but me framing my mind, let me go get some no's today. And man, guess what I realized, man? I didn't even get no no's. I was getting maybe not now is a good time. We just signed on, try back in August, or, you know, it wasn't a no like I thought. So it made me more eager to go out and keep on hearing things.
Right. That's what's up, man. And that ain't nothing but facts. And by the way, so I want to ask you this. So as you got, and you know, this happens as you get interested, I'm gonna veer off them little questions I sent you before the interview, right?
Yeah,
and so
ahead.
now I'm curious to hear. So once you got to that point when you realized, you know what, I can't keep waiting around for this franchise. And that's why one of the things I said too in videos and previous times was a franchise can handicap you sometimes. Because I know they handicapped me at first because, like you said, when you're a great franchise owner like you are, like how I was, they gonna feed you.
Yeah.
You can always pretty much grow whenever you want. But like you said, when you lose an account, they put you through that 2-month wait period. I didn't have that at my local franchise, so that was interesting that you said that. But so you going through this part, now you realize, you know what, I gotta get out here and go get it on my own. So at that point, are you having to still bring those commercial contracts through them, or is that through Ascent, your own LLC? How's that going?
So luckily, I'm in a state that they have something that you cannot hold. I forgot what it is. I forgot exactly what it is, but my master franchise told me that I can get on my own accounts outside because of the state we're in. It's this state, and I think it's California. They have something that if you're a franchise owner, you have to have your own business as well, right, or you become an employee of that company. And they don't want you to be an employee because then there's taxes and other things. So they cannot restrict me from getting my own clients, but I restricted myself. And the reason that I restricted myself is because of the integrity that I say I have and the loyalty that I had to the brand. And I didn't want to go with commercial cleaning. So I had to actually figure out where I'm going to go. Because I don't want to do that. I've been cleaning commercial buildings, but I still want you to, because you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's what I always told him. And so if you giving me at this time, you got all my revenue. I got kids, I got a family, I got people that I want to show real estate. I got people that I want to do a lot of things with. And this is my revenue. And like I told you, we 23,000 and we hitting over 350, you know what I'm saying, a year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow. And that's with the beginning of 2020. So I'm on track for the biggest run of my life, you know. Right. And I ended about 380. I think it's about 380. But the thing that happened was, in that trying to take off on my own, I hindered myself because I didn't want to go for the niche that I was in, because I didn't want to compete with my franchise. And I had to figure some other stuff out. And when I started getting in there, it's not just cleaning no more. Now it's, okay, I show up to a building and the apartment's not ready. Right. So now it's a whole different mentality. And so I held myself back for like a couple of months trying to figure things out. And then not to mention, I'm having bills coming in. I got cars for my kids I'm trying to build. I'm building on my business credit so I can get into this real estate that I'm into. So I'm like, man, there's so much going on. And dude, it just went haywire in my mind. Like I it's crazy.
I know it, man. So listen, so with that happening, right? So you dealing with the loss of this $23,000 a month account. You dealing with, you know, the bills, you know, I'm pretty sure you got people in your ear, family members, kids, whoever need what, you know what I mean? Then you got the bills going in, then you're trying to grow, right? So now you're trying to be independent and grow too. So how do you manage all of that? Like, how do you sustain it and keep this level of grinding that you keep, man? Because if anybody knows, CBN knows that William Wade get out here and get it, man. You know what I mean? Well, like, so how do you keep that, even if you got to get out in the field? Like, how are you still able today to even get out in the field if you have to?
My mouth, man. My mouth keep me going. Because see, I made the thing of wishing they ain't doing enough. A lot of people say you move and don't talk. I'm a talker and then I move. I do both. I believe you should talk and you should move. Now, I would stay away from talking if the people know they're just talking stuff, right? So when I put myself out there, I got to deliver. I have to deliver. Sometimes you can, they say you can write a check, you can, something about write a check that your ass can't, can't cash. Yeah, you know, they say that stand, but well, if I say I want $1 million check, I want to cash that check. You know what I'm saying? My ass gonna have to get out there and figure out a way to go cash that $1 million check. You know, that's just how I think. I'm not writing checks that my ass can't cash. I'm not doing that. So My mouth, man, my mouth, and I motivate myself. My last name Wade, wishing ain't doing enough. So what I'm gonna do? I can't wish that it change. I see my name, I see that Wade symbol all the time. And I put it up and it's not my name. It's wishing ain't doing enough. It's for people that know that, hey, when you out there grinding, wishing ain't doing enough, you got to go get it. And so I tell myself this, I wake up and I see this and I know, so no matter what happened, man, I still got to make it happen because ain't nobody else going, I don't have no other plans. I ain't going back to the streets. It's it.
Right. Now, we know that the willpower got you started and built you up to that level, but at some point, we know you had to put some systems in place because you don't do those type of numbers without having systems. So could you just kind of speak on, first off, like how you are hiring people and retaining good talent in your company, and then also just any type of systems in general that you have in place so that the company is able to run without you having to be out there cleaning?
Oh, man. Hey, man, when you get out on your own, when I started to do independent, my mental grew a lot. Like, hey, man, and I'm a shout out CBN, man. I'm a shout out you, man, because hey, I was following you when you were doing franchise, and I was like, man, he got so much knowledge. You was reading some of the books that I was reading in there, and I gravitated to you. I journaled everything. I would document everything, and then you were just actually doing what I was doing in there, but you was actually out here doing it. So I'm like, man, I like this guy. So I gravitated to you, and then going independent, man, it changes and put different systems in perspective. So you have to wear so many hats, man. You calling people, you doing the interviews, you setting up all the things that you have to set up. I have a ZipRecruiter right now. And so I have ZipRecruiter that sends in applicants. Now I have to do the calling of the applicants. So I call the applicants, I set up interviews. I went to the interview plate location and some people don't show up. Right. And so all of this stuff is going on. So now I have a person that calls to see who all wants a job. And I set that going on, like say a Thursday at 6. And then I have another one of my supervisors go and do the interviewing. And so that works out better. Having one of my supervisors do the interview and somebody else calling, that removes me out of that place of doing that. I have, as far as payroll systems, when I first started, I was writing checks. I used to go and meet people to give them their checks. When I got about 12 people on the team, I found out that people would dodge you to get their money. So what I changed, and when I say they dodge you to get their money, because they're busy. Hey, meet me at Kroger's here, meet me here, there. And so now I'm traveling all over Nashville to try to drop checks off. So I done spent a whole payday trying to find people to drop checks. And when somebody said, hey, why don't you just tell them to come and pick up the check at 12, between the hours of 12 and 2 at this location. And if they don't meet it by 2, then you just mail it. Dude, it was amazing how many people showed up to get their check. You didn't have to chase them down no more. So we started doing that. Now we go through ADP and we do everything electronic. So it just dropped off into into their bank account. We have one guy that wants to get a check delivered and we had to make him get a chime card or something. And we don't do delivering checks no more. As far as hiring people, that's a struggle that I have. Getting good people. A lot of times I get word of mouth. But word of mouth can also bite you, because sometimes if you know somebody that knows somebody that want a job, they don't really take it serious. And so that's something that's been holding me back as well. I've found out that the older crowd are better people to as far as longevity. Some that's older that don't need, they just want some extra money, And then I have a couple of guys that came out with bad backgrounds, and they are so phenomenal, dude, because they don't get a chance. And so, that's my passion. So I met a guy now, he's had he was in there and some stuff happened to him. So he's not walking as well. He got him a cane. So I put him in the building. I don't charge him for his time. I just pay him per building. And he goes in there, he shows up early. He stays and does what he have to do, because he said he was turned down for 22 times. He said, man, you don't understand how grateful I am for this job. I was turned down 22 times for a job. Everybody telling me they won't hire me. And dude, I love hiring people like that, man. I love hiring people like that.
Man, that's huge. Like, first off, the first gem you dropped about setting that window for the time to pick up the checks, because I know people personally who still, got to run around town on payday delivering checks. Yeah. So you don't just save somebody's life right there on that one. And then also, the fact that you said you're going through ADP, that was another one with the payroll system, man. So appreciate you dropping those jewels, man. Now, I really want to ask you this. So you know, you got a few years under your belt now in this game. So could you share some of the biggest lessons you've learned and then maybe the biggest mistake that you've made so far as the cleaning business?
One of the biggest lessons I've learned is to don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back. I say it twice because it's so many ways that we hold ourselves back and we don't even know we're holding ourselves back because we think we're going ahead. Like what looks fast over here could be actually holding you mentally down over here. So what it looks like life is on different planes, on different spheres. You have a mental sphere and you have a physical sphere. So when you physically getting something, knowing that you might be mentally draining. And so I held myself back from learning a lot because of the physical gains. Now it's kind of balancing out. And so I would say one of the biggest lessons that I learned is don't hold yourself back, man. I always say, yeah. Now, when I say always say, yeah, let's take always out. Because that's a word that you shouldn't say always, but say yes to everything, man. Say yes. When I started, I said, yes. William, yes. William, we have some, yes. Before you can get, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready, man. It wasn't no, let me think of this or let me, man. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna get done. It's gonna get done. I've been in places that they had spices and spices all over your face when you come out. I got pictures of me. I'm dusted in spices. I mean, warehouse spices. I mean, doing high dusting. I mean, yes, whatever it was, I needed the experience and I wanted to do it. So that's a great thing. That's one of the best things I would say. Say yes to a job that you would usually say no to, just to get the experience. How you know you don't like it if you haven't said yes to it? Don't be scared. Go get the money, man. The money's out there for you to get. It wants you to get it. It's there. It's not going to run. I hear we say we chasing the bag. We chasing the bag. Why are we chasing it? You go get it and then start attracting it. Now, when I was sitting back, they called me. Hey, William, would you do this? Hey, William, would you do this? Now I don't get that many calls as much because they see me doing my own thing. And I was told I'm one of their number one competitors because of small independent cleaning companies in the area are the big boxes kind of, that competition. But I didn't see myself as no competition at all because I wasn't trying to get in his lane or their lane. But of course now I am because I mean, they don't want to give me nothing. And they're not going to give me, and I don't want them to give me nothing because the thing is, well, let me say it the other way. I would accept other accounts because I'm putting people in it and I can make money, but I don't want no one to give me anything. I want to go out there and learn how to get it on my own. And that's the one thing that I realized that's the best important thing in this business. Learn how to go get it on your own.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because at that point, once you know how to get it on your own, nobody has the control over you after that, man. So I agree with that 100%. Now I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. I see that you post your kids often on social media. So could you just talk about, just talk about fatherhood a little bit, your view on it, because I see that it's important to you.
Man, dude, hey, don't get me tearing up on here. That's my heart. That's my life. I didn't have a father growing up. My father got killed when I was a young age, and my mama turned out to be my father. Well, my mother played my father's role. And then in some instances, I tell people I lost a mom and a father because my mom had to be hard. I tell people now, man, my mom was the type of mom that if I was running a 100-yard dash, she'd put hurdles in front of me. And then when I was growing up, I'm thinking, man, Mom, why you put hurdles? But now I realized it was to make me better. She knew I could run the 100-yard dash the same way somebody else could run it with the hurdles, and I could still beat them at the finish line. That's what she was trying to do. That's what she was doing. I didn't understand it as a child, but now I realize it. And so my children, man, like giving them the guidance, understanding how to listen to them, not trying to force them into what I want them to do. I grew up, my mom wanted to be a lawyer and a doctor. Mom, I'm very smart in school, but I don't know no lawyers and I don't want to be a doctor. I got to go to school 8 years after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now that I know a little, doctors and lawyers get taxed at a high percentage. So they just like high paid workers. The same way NBA people, the workers on the NBA field get taxed if they don't invest. But that's enough. That's for a whole nother topic. That's for a whole nother topic. We got high price workers out here, but it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that because they're making good money. But I'm glad that I went my way. But I'm showing my kids that now because some of my kids don't want to go to college. I have 3 kids. One of them don't want to go. The oldest one, he don't want to go. And he doesn't have to go. And like I showed him, you could have workers working for you that went to college. I know business people that they have masters in business that work for people like us. You know what I'm saying? So I had to show him. So fatherhood for me is being able to show him and guide him on the way that he wants to go, not the way that I want him to go. It's also being a friend to him. I hear a lot of people say, I'm their parent, I'm not their friend. Well, your friends, if we know children, we know the biggest influence they have are their friends. Why would you not be a friend to your child? Hey, to each his own, man. You could be the strict parent you want to, you can do whatever you want to, but I want my kid to know, hey, you got a friend in me. Like we watching Toy Story. You got a friend in me.
Absolutely. So look, man, I was talking to my wife about that same thing though. We agree with you 100%, by the way. And I was telling her that I was like, look, I know, because I literally said the same phrase you said. People say, I'm your mama, I ain't your friend, right? That's one of the old sayings. But no, I tell my kids, I'm your friend and I'm your parent. Like I can put my daddy hat on too now, but I'm your best friend. I want to be your best friend, right? Hopefully, you know what I mean, you feel the same way. And then you tell me anything. I'll never feel like you can't come to me, right? Because I feel like I'm the best person that should be able to help you, right? So I agree with you 100% on that, man. So
you get influenced by being a friend. You know what I'm saying? They could come and talk to you. I see they say one thing, man. I'm with my broke breast friends. I've heard people put that on there a lot of time. I'm with my broke breast friend. Yep. But you say you're not gonna be the friend, but you with your broke breast friend. I don't want to have no broke breast friends. So my children have they have investment accounts going. They have my oldest son has his credit score is like a 767 because he was an authorized user on one of my credit cards. My little son, he's 15. He has over $1,000 saved, ready for a car when he's ready. He has another account with like 400 or 500 because he's been working since he was 13. Like even if my children were small, I'm putting money in their account so they have some money because I'm saving up for the future. That's what my grandmother did. So I don't do the broke breast friend. But the thing is, my children are my friends. They are my children. I love them. I'm going to be there for them. I'm showing my son about real estate in Detroit right now. I'm taking him because it's a low cost of entry, and he don't want to go to college. But I do know this, that the majority of millionaires are making their money in real estate. So why would I not start with the end in mind, teach him about real estate while I'm working my butt off in my cleaning business? I bust my butt and I take some money up to there. I bought a house up there for like 1,300. You know what I'm saying? And I fix it up and I put about 25, 30,000 into the house. All right. It's not even about the money. It's about the experience that we're getting. Like you could take you could take your child to go to college and come out with 40, 50, $60,000 worth of debt. Or what I choose to do, my son don't want to go to college. Let daddy be the professor. Let me take you up to Detroit, spend 30,000. When we go up there, we take trips, we spend time together. You getting these lessons. I'm hitting you across the head with this knowledge. You getting, hey, you learning what this drywall look like. You finna learn what this full tear down, this roof looking like. Hey, and now you finna learn what the ROI is. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You come out. That's beautiful, man. I paid the money, and guess what? You don't have no debt, and you still got good credit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know what? That's one of my wife. That's a phrase we was saying. She got that from social media. That's how I broke best friends. Now I gotta tell her we ain't saying that no more because now that you mention it, they ain't broke. You right. My kids got. They said, no, so you right. I gotta stop that. Look, you done told me something today. Man, right, come on. Man. With the background that you have, for somebody watching this, right? And they're like, all right, yes, sound good. He did it. So, but can I do it, right? So if we got somebody right now watching this with a non-favorable background, according to the system, what kind of advice could you give this person looking to get into the commercial cleaning industry?